play with an edge and be ready to roll in Nashville.
Mohamed Wagee, who was phenomenal last night and then ended up cramping for most of the game, will jump center against Amari Williams, and he stole the tip right into the hands of Jeremiah Fears. Fears defended by Butler, who is just a special defender, and he plays with that brace on that left shoulder. Miles gets the screen, the roll. Wagee in the paint. That's a great job by Carr. They got 2 seconds to get a shot off, and Fears nearly banked it in. Really good defense by the Cats.
Ravi, Kentucky 57 points better defensively in terms of efficiency than they were last month.
Kentucky lineup, it's got Owe. Butler, Bray is a terrific shooter, driving here. Gets the friendly roll to get things rolling for Kentucky. Oklahoma starting 5 looks like this. They've won 3 in a row, 4-2 in their last 6. Good eye, number 2, really good shooter. Penetration more. Now he steps back. Drives again. Carr there to defend. Williams, his height's going to be a factor tonight. Butler, Owe, 3. Look out! A 5-0 start for Kentucky.
Oklahoma plays with 3 6-foot guards for a lot of minutes. Can they rebound in this game and be effective in the paint is a big question mark.
They're going to be able to deal with the first punch or punches from Kentucky. Wagee deep. And Williams just ripped it away from him. Andrew Carr tries. He buys a 3. Could there be a better start for the Cats?
Has made 306 threes on the year. That's the 4th most in the history of Kentucky basketball.
Hope knows every game's one and done. He's in a coaching stance over there with his team up 8-0. Fears they found Wagee underneath. The interior defense has been solid, but finally they break through, and Williams picks up his first.
Well, Wagee's going to get a lot of minutes with Godwin for Oklahoma. Their starting post player hampered by an injury right now, but just enough of a ball fake to kind of settle down Williams. And Wagee's a rugged kid. And remember that Alabama Final Four team. There's Godwin looking on. Did not play last night. Questionable for tonight, I believe. But Wagee has to have a big round like he did against Georgia in the first round game.
Well, as you guys mentioned, Wagee had the game of his career last night. He cramped up a lot during that game. So he's fasting for Ramadan, so he can't eat or drink fluids during daylight hours. So he was up late last night receiving IV fluids with the hope that that will not be an issue here tonight.
Kobe Brea, Williams wanted it down low, and look at the height advantage he has. Fast ball movement, Brea the floater. And boy, they haven't missed a shot. 4 for 4 to start.
Kobe Brea has developed into way more than just a three-point specialist. Really good the last month. 1 or 2 bounces and some tough twos now coming from Kobe Brea as well.
Averaging 14.2 his last 6 games. Wagee out of bounds.
Wagee's going to check out, I think, and Norweather's going to check in. And the kid that comes in is not the defender that Wagee is, but he's an offensive threat that can stretch the floor and make that 5-out Oklahoma offense a little bit more of an open floor to operate with.
You see Williams and Carr both with height advantages over the men that are guarding them. Andrew Carr is 6'11". And he is healthy, which is a huge difference the way he's been. Williams, soft touch, and boy, it's a big rim right now to start.
That middle ball screen action I talk about all the time, Ravi. If you can't handle it, it's going to knock you out of a tournament. And Kentucky's so good with Williams and Carr both rolling out of it.
Yeah, Fears pretty. You talk about scorers. He's one of them. And it's a Williams you're charging at, and he is a premier shot blocker. That's going to be a trip on Fears. Butler goes to the ground.
What I'm talking about with Kentucky, Ravi, that middle ball screen, Williams right here is so good at in and out of the action. He sets it and just dives right through that open space. Very patient as a diver. He let the traffic clear out of the way. That's a really good target, 22 in white, rolling to that rim.
Brandon Garrison will come in. Williams goes to the bench. Garrison was involved in some of the post-game excitement, if you will, as Owe misses one. He's an Oklahoma City kid. And Oklahoma wanted him. He ended up coming to Kentucky to play. Going to be a foul on Otega Owe. Now, it's been a fascinating first year for this guy, Mark Pope, who has done everything humanly possible to endear himself to Big Blue Nation, and he has checked every box and succeeded on every level. And man, has he dealt with, and a lot of teams do, but he's dealt with some significant injuries. It's almost like they've never had their full complement of players.
I told you, Jesse, what this is now the 4th game in a row that he's got the same roster to work with. 8 wins against the top 15 this year. Ties Indiana in 1992-93 and Duke in 78-79. He's had some monster wins in his first year.
Yeah, and those are 2 phenomenal teams. Colin Chandler, who's been called on to play defense really well. He does it against Elvis, but how about that play by Kobe Elvis, who will now go back and play defense against his roommate for 3 years, Kobe Brea.
So Oklahoma kind of picked himself up off the mat after that settle-down timeout by Porter Moser.
Chandler may have had his best game in a Wildcat uniform in his last game. Carr wants it in the paint. They don't get it to him. And now they get 6. He fires from 3. That's off.
Well, good job by Butler to handle that ghost screen and didn't get sidetracked away from the ball.
Denied by Carr. Butler from his backside all the way across the court to Brea. Garrison comes up to set the screen, and that is stepped out of bounds, Kobe Brea.
Well, really good, though, defensive pressure by Oklahoma on Brea.
Good answer from Oklahoma after that fast start for Kentucky. It's 12-7.
Well, think about what Porter Moser lost off his club last year. Milos Uzan is now the starting point guard for Houston, a 1 seed, and Otega Owe for Kentucky, a big loss to Porter Moser, who, by the way, is 4-0 when he's wearing that black shirt and red tie.
Yeah.
Staying with the dress that has Oklahoma now solidly in the NCAA tournament. It was in question when this tournament started.
Elvis kicks more. That's way off. That's an air ball.
In that timeout, Mark Pope really focused on their offensive composure, telling his players, we got them early, so now they're bringing defensive pressure. He emphasized ball movement and staying patient in the face of that pressure. And the overall message was, we started hot, we cooled down, but don't panic and keep up that energy.
Big time contact there, Molly. Thank you on Chandler, who lost the ball and grabbed just above his left eye. He's back looking to see if he's bleeding, playing defense. That air ball from Moore, significant, Jimmy. He had 20 in that first meeting. Difficult pass. That's a steal. Deflected by Carr. And that's a bad pass from Brea. 2-on-1. Miles. Contact. No good, but he'll shoot 2.
And those Oklahoma guards are quick and fast on both ends of the floor. We're talking about Miles, Elvis. Yeah, that's exactly what Colin Chandler took a shot that went uncalled, and he'll have to step out unless they clean that blood up quickly. Colin Chandler has really developed the last 3 or 4 games, bringing his burst, is what Mark Pope says, into the game. An elite level athlete that's going to get better and better. Missed 2 years of basketball on a Mormon mission.
3 veteran officials are hearing it right now, and the question for Mark Pope is, how in the world is his eye bleeding if there was no contact? A former medical student for 3 years,
he would know.
He would probably know. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah, that's a pretty good cut on Chandler. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have to have stitches. But right there, the elbow of Norweather, as he goes up to challenge his shot, the right elbow gets right into that left eye in the corner of Chandler.
Duke Miles knocks down the first one. Talk about
right there,
yeah, right there.
That elbow, that is clearly a foul. They did not get called.
sends him now to get that addressed. Miles is a kid that chipped 2 teeth in a game, diving for a ball against Mississippi State. Then within seconds, he was back on the floor. 5 straight empty trips for Kentucky after that lightning fast start. And that's another pass that was deflected away. Butler spinning in traffic. That's a near turnover, and he ripped it right back. Carr with a flush.
With the hand strength of Butler is as good as you're going to find for a defensive guard and a loose ball gatherer.
Fears 3, no, that one rattled out. Feels like another potential punch for Kentucky, and it is as Brea buries a 3.
You have to locate Brea if you're Oklahoma. That Kentucky offense is so good the first 10 seconds of a possession, and they flood the floor with shooters on both sides.
Good hands by Owe. He dove on the floor, and now Elvis kicks to Fears, who doesn't shoot it. Nice touch off the window. And not a good shooting light last night for Glenn Taylor Jr., but he gets his first 2.
Good job by Taylor to not force a 3 out of the corner, but make a play out of the corner instead.
McGee back in playing defense. He's 5 hedging out there on Owe. Garrison, there's a call, a block on McGee underneath.
And Porter Moser's not going to like that call. He thought the offense initiated. Watch this, Kentucky, their run game. They rip that ball off the glass, and look at Kobe Brea down the left side. Just a lack of awareness and a lack of urgency by Oklahoma in transition defense to not sprint, talk, and point. And you cannot leave the most trusted, most valuable guy in the portal last year as a shooter was Kobe Brea.
A valuable commodity, guys that can shoot. And speaking of guys that can shoot, they're bringing a few in now for Kentucky. Brea comes out. Trent Noah becomes somewhat of a cult hero. The 3 freshmen, you had a great name for them the other day, the Band Perry, surrounding Travis Perry. They've really grown up right in front of our eyes this season.
Well, Trent Noah's been in a shooting slump. He's only made 1 3 in the last 6 games, but had a lot of valuable minutes in conference play, 9 in white.
Williams is on the floor. So is Almanor. He's got a shooting streak of his own going. He's going to have to shoot a 3. Williams, that's too strong, and he didn't draw the iron. That's a shot clock violation.
Ravi Fears only 2 points in this game, and he's the guy, the electricity for this Oklahoma offense, bringing the ball up. But he's being guarded by one of the best defenders in all of college ball. A huge challenge for this young freshman.
Now he will take it, not make it. So we mentioned he had 29 last night. That was off a game in which he was 2 of 14.
Yeah, he's been a little streaky with that shot.
Butler backdoor, pretty cut. No, he can't convert.
Man, great cut, great pass. That's Williams, is that 7-foot point guard making plays.
Taylor, Fears replaced him. He still has not knocked a 3 down. And that's going to be a foul on Woogie, and that is a problem for Oklahoma. That is number 2 on Mohamed Woogie.
It's an undersized Oklahoma team on that front line with Godwin not playing tonight. And now Northweather checks back in. Oklahoma, though, they're driving the paint. They're playing off a 2. They're spraying it around. They're just not knocking him down yet. Oklahoma has failed to make a 3, 0 for 5, and they've had some good looks.
Yeah, Fears has taken 4 of those 5. Now Travis Perry in. Williams backdoor, no, a nice play. They take advantage of the empty paint.
And there's my 7-foot point guard. Because of his passing ability, that paint does stay empty.
Forsythe kick, Northweather 3. Yes, buried it right in front of that Kentucky bench.
Yeah, Woogie goes out and you bring a shooter in that's 6'11". So offensively now Oklahoma a little bit more of a tough cover.
Travis Perry left open. That's a dangerous thing. He missed it. Kept alive by Noah.
Those kind of plays by Noah that Mark Pope has rewarded with a lot of minutes for a true freshman.
Williams going to work on Northweather. He drew the foul on Northweather, and Amari Williams will go shoot two. Williams, a very good driver of the basketball.
Yeah, Kentucky up 5. When the ball moves and people move, the score.
Talked about putting in new actions offensively with a little bit more movement, a little bit more pace. And this is a team that scores a bunch in every game. They've won 6 games when their opponents have scored 80 or more. 6 times they've won games where the opponent has got 80 or more. Only Alabama has more with 13 of those. And he wants more offense, and more pace, and more movement.
Well, it's a spread out offense. A lot of zoom action, a lot of dribble handoffs, but it's all equated to 85 points a game. They shoot the 3-point shot at a high clip. They move the ball, 17 assists a ball game. But in this league, when you're trying to break off pressure, you got to break the wrist of that defender, Ravi, and get yourself open time and time again.
Yeah, another good shooter is Forsythe, and you wonder if Fears was going to be a little gun-shy in shooting. And he's 0 for 5, but I'm sure Porter Moser said, you got to keep doing that. Foul on the floor is called against Kentucky. It was Taylor causing problems on the offensive glass.
Ravi Fears, actually, he's just a 28% 3-point shooter on the year. So that's not his forte. He's really good at getting in the paint and making some hard shots at the rim, and that's good news for Big Blue Nation. So Colin Chandler gets that eye taken care of and back on the bench, looks like ready to go.
And maybe a couple of stitches up there, a little butterfly for Colin Chandler. And he gives a thumbs up to Mark Pope as he sits down on the end of the bench.
And you have to hope that cut heals up by May 8th when he gets married. Right?
That's a thought.
That's the date. Yeah,
that's a real thought.
Yeah, that's what his fiancé is thinking right now. Kentucky backing off the non-shooters.
4 seconds, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Fears steps into another one, forced there, and that's going to be an offensive foul called against Jalen Moore, going for the rebound.
Ravi, since February the 4th, Kentucky's defense in the KenPom rankings has improved by 57 spots.
Which is amazing.
That's a huge leap, but Mark Pope realized when the month of February began, they just weren't good enough defensively. And it's a smart team that has learned this year on the fly and made themselves better, and especially on that end of the floor.
Moser looks up. He did not like that call from Terry Oglesby. He thought his defender had his hands on the basketball. 6th team foul against Oklahoma.
Ravi, Kentucky's offense, they want to get off 33-point shots a game. They also want to have 20 transition possessions and get their run game going. In this one, Kentucky 5 out of 7 in the first 12 seconds of the shot clock.
Butler penetrates deep. Away with 10 on the shot clock. Really good defense by the Sooners. And that's a turnover. Stout defensive effort that time by Oklahoma. Well, that's not expected. Taylor buried a 3 and then gives a little look over to the Kentucky bench. Butler reverse. That's pretty.
Ravi, in 4 seconds, Lamont Butler a one-man fast break. And that's disheartening to Porter Moser to score on one end and not get that defense set. And Oklahoma, they move the ball. They're a team that takes care of it. They can knock them in when they have to, not at a high clip, about 36% in conference play. But look at Lamont Butler. Look at the opposite clock, 25 seconds. He was a one-man fast break in 5 seconds, rim to rim.
For Glenn Taylor Jr., that was his 18th. That's it, 18th, third 3-point field goal of the season. 4-point game.
The building just feels different tonight than previous years Kentucky being in here.
No doubt about it. Fears drew the contact. To your point, what he does best. Butler picks up the foul. To Jimmy's point, he turned 18 in October. He's a child. I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah. He's a very talented kid.
He sure is.
He has multiple games this year where he has drawn 10 fouls. And he gets to that free throw stripe. He's got a really good stroke. He originally signed with or committed to Illinois, but then when he reclassified after the Peach Jam, Porter Moser went all in on him and said, hey, we got a spot for you right now. And he has handled the challenge of a physical league for a young kid really, really well.
Travis Perry and Forsyth, they almost look like brothers out there standing next to each other. No, free throw no good. Fierce. He's missed all 6 of his 3-point field goals. A couple of those came at the end of the shot clock. Carl rolls. He's deep, and he's going to get the foul. That was a hold on Glenn Taylor Jr.
And it was also a really strong physical SEC screen set by Travis Perry, a size screen, small on big, to get that back screen and Carr rolling out of it. Watch Travis Perry as he's going to come up right here. 11 in white. Bam, man, he just delivers the blow as a back screener like you have to do in this league. That's a real screen set, and it gets Carr to the free throw line.
Carr's last game, 16 points against Missouri, 12 rebounds. First SEC double-double. The crowd recognizes that Colin Chandler, who's clearly getting more minutes as the season wears on, is back on the floor. Carr missed a free throw. He was such a difference maker early in the season when they were rolling because he was healthy. And he is close to 100% again.
Yeah, averaging 13 points over the last 6 back in that starting lineup.
Fears got Chandler on his back. Northweather. There are 4 really good 3-point shooters on the floor for Kentucky right now in Perry, Brea, Chandler, and Carr. He wants it down low, and he gets it down there. And boy, is he strong right now. Laid it up and in over Moore.
Great strength and great footwork by Carr to fight off that double team around the rim.
Fierce had a free throw line jumper. Chandler was off balance. He didn't take it. Throws it up with his left. Challenged again. Carr just held his ground.
A pretty good job by Kentucky to stay in front of the ball, and that is not easy. With
great pass. Yes, Perry to Brea on the baseline.
Brea loves to run the left side of the floor. And if he's not knocking down a 3 on the left side, he'll get to that corner and burn that pressure off with a back cut. It feels like Rupp Arena is in Nashville right now.
Yeah, and more of the maturity of Perry, who that time will get the foul called against him, but just more and more playing time and productivity from the 0 of 6 from 3 against a Kentucky team that clearly has the crowd on its side. And you mentioned the 8 wins over the top 15. They swept Tennessee this year to Kentucky. They beat Florida. They beat Duke. So when they're healthy, which they're not going to be because Robinson's not there, but they're complete right now, they really believe they can compete with anybody.
I agree 100%. This has been a very talented Kentucky team all year long. All brand new players in a new system. It just takes time.
Next Tuesday night right here on the SEC Network and the app, our next SEC Inside gets you an all-access pass to this basketball tournament. 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Never before seen footage, sound from players and coaches. The behind-the-scenes look, that's next Tuesday night on the SEC Network. Kobe Brea, Kobe Elvis at the free throw line. They were roommates for 3 years at Dayton, and they are like brothers.
Well, guys, I was just listening into Oklahoma's huddle, and Porter Moser was trying to calm his team down. He told his bigs, you got to be better in transition. We're not communicating and getting set on defense. And he finished with, if they post you up, you got to heat up the passer. Get your hands up high. Play with more aggression. He told them they weathered the initial storm, but they have to keep their energy up.
He's right about that. They did weather the storm. The question's going to be, does Oklahoma have another scorer beside Fears to help them get on a run? Because it's quite clear Kentucky has that ability, and we've seen it already a couple of times. Amari Williams setting the check back in. As Fears penetrates against Chandler. He's deep, and he lays it up and in.
That's how he can get going, Fears. Again, the number of fouls that he's drawn this year, multiple times in double figures. He has an electric, dynamic, fast first step with that ball.
Chandler baseline. He leaves it for Owe. And the ball deflected out of bounds. Good hands by either Fears or Goodine. I wasn't sure who got their hands on it.
Yeah, felt like Chandler had a really good look himself on the left side of the rim. And his minutes have climbed, to 17, 18 minutes a game over the last 3 or 4.
He had 8 points in 16 minutes against Missouri. Kind of in an attack mode, which he hadn't been in before.
Former Utah Gatorade Player of the Year. Went 2 years without touching the ball. It just has taken him a while to knock that rust off.
Williams, that was deflected by Northweather. Owe with 5 on the shot clock. Backs his way in. Perry, 3. Fires. Short. Fears got the big fella Williams on him. And he's got nowhere to go. Moore penetrates. Tough shot.
One of the better athletes in the SEC. He was the battle for Atlanta's most valuable player. With all the lack of offense by Oklahoma, you look up, it's just a 2-point game.
Again, Moore 20 in the first meeting. Brea nearly dribbled himself into a turnover, so he launches a 3. That's no good.
Not the shot that Mark Pope wanted. That ball was stuck on one side.
Well, Oklahoma with a chance to tie or go ahead as it's knocked out of bounds by Kobe Brea.
Well, Oklahoma comes in only making 8 threes a game. And Porter Moser, the strength of them offensively is to spread the floor and drive it. And they, especially with a kid like Moore, this is your power forward, but he can put it on the deck and play through contact, and that's how Oklahoma's going to have to stay in this game. They're going to have to drive it. They're going to have to get to the free throw line and just knock down timely threes against this long Kentucky defense.
Yeah, quiet start to the night for Owe. He goes and sits on the bench. Much taller Kentucky team on the floor now with Noah, Brea, Carr, and Williams. Three ball knocked down. All of a sudden, Oklahoma has got a lead. That's Kobe Elvis.
Andrew Carr did not switch out high.
No, but he tries to answer with a 3. They've missed now their last 3 trips, an 8-0 run for Oklahoma.
I'm sorry, but those 3 small guards for Oklahoma is just a constant headache to match up with.
Northweather kicks. Elvis. Pretty move. No.
He might get all the way to the rim.
Difficult pass in traffic. What a job by Brea to keep it alive. And another empty trip for the Cats. Fears. Boy, is he tough. And yeah, you're right, Jimmy. All of a sudden, a couple of penetrating 2s.
When Fears brings that ball, he's not looking for a stop sign or a yield sign. He reads the traffic really, really well for a young kid. And you look up and Boomer, 16 points a game, over 4 rebounds a game, 4 assists, and 1.5 steals.
Yeah.
He is in elite company.
He is. The officials take a look at the Elvis shot. They changed it from a 3 to a 2. So instead of a 10-0 run, it's a 9-0 run. Williams determined to get to the rack. That's good defense by Northweather. Elvis pulls up. Too strong.
Man, Amari Williams, though, was just backed off in no man's land and gave up a wide open 3.
Owe, baseline, strong, and he knocks it in, and he'll go shoot a free throw. Otega Owe.
And remember, Otega Owe played for Oklahoma last year. And at the end of that last Kentucky-Oklahoma game, it got a little chippy. And Otega Owe, though, scored the last 18 points to close that game out, and he did an awful lot of that right there. Oklahoma just unable to keep this kid out of the paint. And the most consistent player for Kentucky all season long has been Otega Owe.
Of course, his brother Odafe plays linebacker for the Ravens. That was kind of a football move right there. And Otega was a running back before committing full-time to basketball in high school. So contact is not something he's concerned about.
No, and Ravi, he has great, not good, great endurance. He's averaging 10 points a game in the second half. Came in tonight 1 point shy of 1,000. He's over that now for his career. And Big Blue Nation now back up by 1.
Well, you talk about the freshmen in this conference as we're watching Fears here tonight with Pettiford and Phylon and, of course, Trey Johnson for Texas. It is an incredibly talented group. Goodines 3 finds the front iron and kicks to Noah. No way. Crowd stood up thinking Trent was going to shoot that. Garrison cutting away. He laid it up with a left, and he draws another foul.
They are so good, Kentucky. When their post players get doubled, they cut and they cut.
Got on a run, and since then, 1 of 7.
Well, Porter Moser is a disciple of Rick Majerus, the late, great Rick Majerus. And he understands man-to-man defense and pressure and help side and loading to the ball. A team that's not easy to score against. The game got into the 80s the last time these two teams played. It will not get there tonight.
Way up to 7. Fears with 7. And he's gone to the paint. Good hands. Noah deflected away. And there's that football mentality for Owe, knocked in by Noah.
Yeah, 4 white jerseys there to clean it up. Only 2 for Oklahoma. Just a hustle play and an effort play by Kentucky.
Cats by 3. That's good hands again. Owe got there, and Miles fouled him. Really good, quick hands on the defensive end by Kentucky in the last 2 trips.
Right, those transition possessions, Kentucky tracks them. They want 20 of them in a game. Well, if you're going to get 20 transition possessions, your defense has to be alert and alive and attacking gaps and coming up with steals. And Otega Owe, you're right. He's built like a football player and plays like one going downhill. He has been such a load carrier for Kentucky all year. Second team all SEC.
Went through that streak where it's just double digits every game. And he's crawling up that ladder again. He's got 8 now. The fast break points, Jimmy, he talked about pace. Kentucky 15, Oklahoma just 5. But your point is Oklahoma's trying to slow it down a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's their second game back-to-back. Kentucky's first. In that first game, Kentucky at Oklahoma, Kentucky 17 made field goals at the rim. They went right at an undersized Oklahoma team. And it's a constant concern for Porter Moser in this game.
8-0 run over the last minute 13. So here goes Kentucky on another one of those streaks. Here's a much taller Garrison on him. He'll kick it to Taylor, who'll take Noah to the baseline. Fears. Yeah, that one looked a lot better. A set shot right over Garrison for 3.
Well, Garrison was afraid to measure up because of the blow-by ability of Fears. And again, it's a 25% three-point shooter in conference play. And then not bad defense at all by Garrison.
Brea. Great box out. There were 4 Oklahoma Sooners surround that basketball and none in white jerseys for Kentucky. Here's on Chandler. Taylor, good fake. And he's going to get Chandler there, and that's going to be Taylor, an aggressive take.
Otega Owe came off the ball side to stop the penetration of Fears. And when that ball was kicked out, Taylor just went right at a defensive closeout. Really well done. There's the closeout by Owe that's an undisciplined closeout, and Taylor does the right thing, just goes right at the chest of Colin Chandler.
And Taylor Jr., a St. John's transfer. Team having a phenomenal season under Patino, a 6'6" senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Was it Mike White yesterday talking to us about St. John's and Georgia, what a great win they had in non-conference. And he said playing against St. John's, you struggle just to get the ball across half court.
Yeah.
And Georgia won that game, but Zubi Ejiofor for St. John's is going to be one of the most difficult individuals to knock out of that NCAA tournament. He is a stud.
Free throw good from Taylor. 1 point game, less than 2 to go in the first half. Chandler pulls up, 2-point shot, real short. Carr had it, and they couldn't control it.
Good game rebounding, though, by Oklahoma to form that inside circle.
Fears saw that man cutting on the baseline, and that's 2. Right over Carr. Good shot by Kobe Elvis, having a good game. He's got 8. Owe just pulls his way in, and Moser thought that Owe got that left arm up. So Owen Short's getting an earful from Porter Moser.
Well, Porter Moser has the lead right now because that cut by Kobe Elvis to burn that pressure off. And this is what Porter Moser, I think, is upset about. As Owe drives that ball, he felt like that left elbow got up, and probably has a pretty good point of conversation with Owen Short right now.
Owe 5 of 6 from the stripe. He's getting there more than anybody. Now into double figures with 10.
Kentucky with 10 quad 1 wins coming into tonight. That's tied for 4th in the country.
Cats back on top. Fierce dances around Williams. That was awfully impressive.
He's awfully good just inside that 3-point line. He is so tough in that long 2 range on the floor.
Jeremiah Fierce has a dozen. Carr. Chandler. Great effort, Owe. Brea. Yep. Give Owe credit. A terrific offensive rebound and pass to set up the 3-point specialist. They're going to get Otega Owe. He had his hand on Elvis.
Kentucky's played a lot of minutes without Lamont Butler. Not on that bench over there right now. So that is a concern for Mark Pope and the Kentucky team.
Back in the game, the Wildcats, number 9, Trent Noah. At the line for the Sooners, number 1, Kobe Elvis. For the 1-1.
Butler fell to the floor a couple of times early in this game. As Owe takes a seat on the bench.
Chandler takes that 3, and Otega Owe with a save and the sidestep 3 by Kobe Brea. And all good shooters at this level have that shot fake and sidestep in their back pocket.
How about it? Another nail biter. 38-38. Carr has Williams. Finds him for the flush. Good 2-man game.
They cut extremely well when that ball gets double teamed. From all 5 spots on the floor, they understand cutting.
Well, it's Oklahoma against the Kentucky defense and the entire crowd here. Fierce step back. Carr got a piece of it. That's how the half will end.
A great job by Carr to close out that airspace of Fears. And Kentucky up 40-38. They won, I think, what, 83-82 in Norman.
Molly, go ahead.
Season long, and I'm told that he is questionable to return with a left shoulder injury, guys.
All right, Molly, thank you. Yeah, we've been with Kentucky all season long. We've seen him go from healthy to wearing that brace on that shoulder. And the idea that he hasn't been ruled out, perhaps, is an indication that it may not be serious, but that's just so unfortunate for Kentucky. They finally realized what the rotation might be.
Every team deals with injuries, but I can't remember for the life of me watching a team like Kentucky go through so many injuries and guys in and out of the lineup, just so difficult to get into a rhythm. And Kentucky was in a good one coming into this tournament. And now Butler, man, that is a big question in this tournament and the next one beyond.
Oway strong, and he can't get it to climb over the iron. And you see that Mohamed Wagee is back into the game. It was interesting. He got in foul trouble. They were outscored when he was in the game, 15-7. When he was out of the game, Oklahoma outscored Kentucky by 6. But he was such a big factor in yesterday's game. Fears, he may have got away with one of those arm extensions there as well. Difficult shot, good defense by Carr. The height of the two on the floor at the same time, Williams and Carr, makes it real difficult to get shots in the paint. Carr, 3, no good.
Well, Kentucky's going to miss Butler on the defensive end, probably more than the offensive end. They got guys that can get him into the offense, Williams being one of them.
Miles, the soft kiss, no good. And another good box up by Williams. Brea, Oway. He ran right into Moore. Here's Fears. It's 1-on-3. And he got it to Wagee, who laid it in. How about that pass from Fears?
Well, Fears is 1 out of 8 from the three-point line, but the most impactful guy for Oklahoma because of his ability to get in the paint and make plays.
And Carr tries again. Wow. He comes up way short. Kentucky's missed 14 of their last 18 shots. Williams will be pressed into some of that point guard duty. He found Oway in the corner. And they're going to get a foul. It looks like it's going to be on Duke Miles.
Well, guys, after Kentucky opened the game on a hot streak, Oklahoma coach Porter Moser told his team, you weathered the storm. And at halftime, he told us, I loved our resilience to handle that storm. We punched back by getting stops on defense, but our transition defense has to be better. A lot of their threes have been in transition. We have got to guard because they're so dangerous offensively, but the way we punch back is by getting stops.
He's been awfully proud of his team all year long, Molly. That resilient word. You talk to Porter Moser, it happens within the first couple of minutes. Close losses to LSU, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Texas, and they just keep coming back and showing up.
Chandler, yes, sir, straight on. Good three for him. He'd been struggling a little bit, and he finally breaks through. Now 1 of 3 from deep.
Ravi, I was at Kentucky in September. They were working him out individually because of the lack of playing time coming off of a mission. You could see, though, in that individual workout, the skill level that this kid has going forward.
Playing with stitches, and there a foul on Fears. He got clipped on that left eye, and you can see the bandage.
He was the 2022 Utah Gatorade Player of the Year. They won a 2-year mission. But he shoots the ball with ease. He's 6'5". He's got what Mark Pope talks about, having a burst, which shows up as a driver and a very good, fast defender.
He's played 11 minutes tonight. You think about the other guys. Noah has gotten 8 minutes. Perry's gotten 6. And those 3 go through shooting drills every single day together, getting up hundreds of shots. Elvis, the handoff. Late kick to Fears. The penetration, a little too strong with a kiss, but it stayed on the rim and fell down.
Well, he sells that shot fake, doesn't he? And then his first step is elite. He covers a lot of ground with that first bounce of the basketball. Nothing wasted from Jeremiah Fears bouncing that rock.
Brea, a pull-up 2. He rattles it in.
Was not known as a pull-up 2 guy in the portal. He was known as an elite shooter. His game has developed under Mark Pope.
Fears a long 3. No. A pull-up 2 isn't allowed at all schools.
No, it's not. He could not play for Alabama.
Oway, Carr calls for it. Here's Chandler again. High arcing 3. That's way off. Moore. Oh, what a play. What a catch by Fears. And then he got his body so he could make the layup.
Just to secure that ball by Fears was special, but not only to secure it, but turn and twist his body going away from the glass, Ravi. That was spectacular.
It was. That was the pass from Jalen Moore. Oway into the paint, floater too strong. He goes down hard. Here's Moore trying to give Oklahoma the lead. No good. Rebound. McGee. Yes, sir. And the Sooners back on top.
Oklahoma just outworked Kentucky on that transition possession.
Williams had it knocked out of bounds, and he's talking to Ortega. Oway.
Ravi, the pass wasn't perfect, but Jeremiah Fears says, I can erase your mistake and help us out. That pass is thrown wide with a little bit of reverse spin action, but Jeremiah Fears to run it down and then going away from the rim. He's going away from the rim and gets that ball back up in front of Oway on top of him. That is as good as you're going to see for a transition finish.
All night with each other, okay? All night for each other. Next play, next play, next play, all night long. Right now, I like us best offensively. When we're in transition, we're just staying on attack. It's a great job getting to 2 feet and being super patient. It's a great job being patient in the post. It's a great freaking cut. It's a great beat cut, man. You're dangerous when you cut like that. It's awesome, okay?
I was also listening into Mark Pope's huddle just now. First of all, the Kentucky players were really hard on each other in that timeout about their transition defense and their communication, but Pope was very positive with his team. He sat down with them and said right away, this is why we're here. This is March. They're going to punch back. And then he sat down, looked at his players, made them all look at him in the eye and said, look at me right now. We are going to win this game. So he's trying to instill some confidence and belief in his team, calm them down. He was the calming voice in that time.
He's a bit of a professor of positivity for sure, Molly. Thank you. And that inside the huddle look, which is a sound from Pope all night, was presented by Regions Bank. As he wears the mic, they get the shot off a little too late. Noah was looking for it, but yeah, they are looking at each other kind of quizzically, like Brea and Oway. We saw before the break Williams and Oway exchanging a glance.
Ravi, when Carr and Butler are on the floor, they are more organized, they're more confident, they're more calm, and both those dudes not on the floor. You saw it show up in that last Kentucky possession.
Well, the Elvis pulls up too strong. Want to play with more pace, fast, hard cuts. Brea, and that's another way to do it too. Rise up for a three.
Yeah, that's on Oklahoma. Ball screen set. Brea comes off of it. That defender doesn't get up high on him, and Brea makes him pay.
Jalen Moore, hard take to the rack. That is just quick.
He is such a force as that power forward at 6'8", 215 pounds. A fierce, fast driver.
Noah to Almanor, 2-point specialist, knocks it down.
Almanor, the last 5 games, Ravi, no points, no points, no points, 15 and none. And they need him in this tournament and beyond.
He has made his last 12 two-point field goal attempts. Noah got his hand up, and he got a foul called against him.
Coming into tonight's game, Kobe Brea had made 9 out of his last 19 from 3. And there he is handling the basketball, and Brandon Garrison comes up and sets a ball screen, and Elvis comes over the top of it, but just not enough urgency, and Brea is such a quick release, hard to get to his ball.
Northweather's a good three-point shooter. He and Elvis play a two-man game out top. Kobe Elvis. Too strong, and Brea picks it up. Oway sees the lane. Yes, the left hand. Crowd just energized anytime they get a lead, and here they go to their feet, up 4.
That's just not the shot that Porter Moser wants. A no-pass three from Fears, who's below 30% in his career.
Owe against the freshman, gets a screen from Garrison. Rises wildly. Almanor's there to clean up the mess.
Well, Almanor has answered the bell, has not played well 4 out of the last 5, but in this game, the maturity of Almanor is starting to show. It's an older Kentucky team, not in terms of the amount of minutes they've played together, but the experience that Pope brought in, guys that are used to winning plays in March. And Kentucky now with that 6-point lead, trying to push this thing out. The last 2 hoops for Kentucky, it's Otega Owe. Oklahoma doesn't get back. They don't build a wall. They don't stop the ball. And Otega Owe attacks that drop coverage. The first shot doesn't go, but Almanor comes flying in, catches up 6.
During the break, you can see that's Andrew Carr with his arm around Lamont Butler, who came out wearing one of those tops that most of the other bench players are currently wearing. And hard to decipher what's going on with that left shoulder, if it's still taped up, but there doesn't appear to be, other than the resignation from some of his players, that he's back out there. An indication as to what the status of Lamont Butler's shoulder is.
Well, that is a big, big story for Kentucky going forward right now in March, and he has just battled it all year long. And Kentucky now without a true, quote, point guard on the floor, but they only have 5 turnovers. Still a very clean offensive game for Kentucky.
Now they're far away from the basket with 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Forsyth got Garrison on him with 5. He drives, throws it up. That's a tough shot for Forsyth, Dayton Forsyth, the freshman out of Dale, Oklahoma.
And really a tough, smart kid. He had 25 at Ole Miss, and he can go on an 8-9-0 run all by himself.
Well, look at Brea handle the basketball. Then he throws up a wild shot on the baseline, and McGee comes up with it. Loose pass, great steal. Owe with a flush. So quick as he picked that pass and went in for the slam.
Well, he's not Butler, but he's awful darn close. Such a physical guy, just blows up dribble handoff. And Big Blue Nation, you can feel them in the building right now, not only hear them.
Owe's got 13. Forsyth the pull-up and finds the net.
I'm telling you, Forsyth's a guy you can't take for granted. He's just a freshman, but man, he has played with courage all year long for Porter Moser.
20 of his 32 field goals have actually been 3-pointers. Brea, Garrison, he's going to have a chance for a 3-point play.
Garrison and Williams, again, they're so good and fast and high IQ, diving in and out of those ball screens. And Oklahoma came over with an undersized guard as a tag guy, and that will not work against Garrison, who's 6'11". This game's starting to get a little bit chippy, but Garrison sets it, dives out of it. The tag guy is just too small. Goodine is a 6'2" guard. Not a match at all for Brandon Garrison. And Big Blue Nation up 6 at the under 12.
Welcome back. This was Lamont Butler just a couple of seconds ago explaining to Kirk Creesa perhaps what's going on with the shoulder. You can read into Creasa's reaction if you want. We are not speculating on it, just showing you some of the dynamics that are going on the bench. And with the latest on Lamont Butler, let's go to Molly.
Yeah, guys, I'm told Lamont Butler will not return to this game. He is officially out with a left shoulder injury, but Kentucky staff specified he's only being ruled out for this game, and we'll have to find out moving forward what his status will be.
Yeah, he's towel talking to basically everybody, not letting anybody kind of read lips. If you could do that at home as to maybe what that injury would be. But that is a significant part of that story in what Molly just said, that he has been ruled out specifically for the rest of this game.
He has only played 8 minutes in this game. Kentucky has just 1 turnover in their last 34 possessions. So staying clean and strong with the ball, even without their point guard.
They've made 8 of the last 12, and Taylor just knocks down one of those threes to quiet the crowd a little bit, pull them within 4.
Just can't get separation in Kentucky to push it up to double figures.
Forsythe just keeps banging into Garrison, who rolls. Gray's 3 is way off the mark. Forsythe backs his way in, fades away. Boy, does he get the nice roll there. That shot was off to the left, but it drops. It's 2, and it's now 6 for Forsythe.
Porter Moser has 2 fearless freshman guards, Forsythe and Fears. Fears obviously the more talented kid, but Forsythe hanging in this battle right now in the SEC tournament as well.
Yeah, he sure is, with Fears on the bench. Owe has the ball. He's got 15 points. Garrison finds a cutting Noah, and he lost it out of bounds. Tough pass.
Just when it felt like Kentucky was trying to flip this game and push the momentum out, Amanor backs off, and Taylor says, thank you very much. You just can't do that in this league. And guys are too good and too talented. This is what I'm talking about with Forsythe. He plays low, he plays strong, he plays tough, and I've seen him make that little 12-foot fadeaway multiple times this season.
And Forsythe getting some significant minutes now as he's over 10 in this game. Taylor's taken 2 threes and hit them both. Carr, Chandler, Williams all back in. They go with a taller lineup as Kentucky. Moore, difficult shot. Here's Williams playing that point center again. Chandler in the paint. Carr wants it. All the way in, and it looks like McGee is going to get the foul. We'll see, and they do call it on Mo. Jimmy, up next, SEC Now crew. They are back in the green room watching the game, listening to what we're saying about them. They will be up with a complete breakdown of this game and all the others that were played today. Analysis, interviews with coaches and players, and any intel, if there is any, to be revealed on Lamont Butler's shoulder. Just again, updating people if you're just tuning in. Lamont Butler left the game with about 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. He sat on the bench for a few minutes. 2 minutes later, walked back to the trainer's room, came out here in the second half dressed like that, and he has been ruled out, and according to Mahler's report, for just tonight's game now.
And we know they're already without Jackson Robinson for the rest of the year. Kerr Kriisa. It's just been a revolving door for the roster that Mark Pope has had to work with all year long.
Yeah, Fears, difficult pass. McGee goes on the ground, and that's a turnover for Oklahoma. Sooners 7th of this game. Chandler, baseline, no chance, and that ball was blocked as he gets picked up by McGee.
A good job by Fears to come in and be a dart at that basketball as Chandler was seeking the rim. But you saw that burst that Mark Pope continues to brag about from Colin Chandler on that drive.
Williams, Carr. And 2.
How patient was Carr? That high-low action with Williams and Carr, they can both pass, they can both finish. And Carr, very patient, understanding he had a height advantage in front of that rim.
Third Wildcat in double figures. Here comes the crowd. Fears a foul on Chandler. On an off-balance shot by Fears, they say Chandler pushed him.
Fears operating off that middle ball screen, that high flat ball screen. And he gets downhill, and as he rises for that shot, right there, they felt like Colin Chandler hit him on that shot elbow. Not a popular call, but Fears gets to that free throw line where he has been almost automatic all year.
Fears has 17 points tonight.
In the top 10 free throw shooters in the SEC this year.
He's 85%. He had 29 last night, and Oklahoma hanging around, down just 3. Carr in the paint, throws it up, no good, out of bounds. Oklahoma. It'll stay Kentucky basketball.
Well, Mark Pope likes the size advantage that he has with Williams and Andrew Carr. And you look out there, Oklahoma very small with the exception of Northweather, so Kentucky can find an isolation mismatch about any possession they want with 8:06 to go in this game.
They're trying to adjust the shot clock. The fourth official is signaling in. That's 20 on the clock now. Williams with Northweather on him. Out of Nottingham, England, ready to back down Northweather. He goes deep, goes right, gets the roll.
Just not enough strong resistance by Northweather. He kept getting bumped, and he kept giving ground on the bump.
Jalen Moore goes between his legs and then kicks it to Elvis. Now he will fire a 3. That's the
huge.
bottom.
That was huge. Not known for a three-point shot.
Chandler, hard drive. He dished it to Williams. He couldn't handle it. 2-on-1 with Taylor. No good, and that is ripped away by Carr.
Good job by Carr to not foul.
Owe, pretty move. Up and in, Otega Owe.
But that's all. That's an assist almost by Carr.
Yes.
To level off at the rim and take away a 2.
4-point lead. Northweather left open. That's his shot.
That's why Porter Moser plays him. He is a legit stretch 5. They have been so much better offensively in this game with him on the floor as opposed to Wagee tonight.
Northweather started this game, Jimmy, with half of his field goals. 7 of them, that's it, were 3-point field goals. Tennessee, Florida, Alabama take the floor for the first time with tournament aspirations and then NCAA tournament aspirations.
It feels like Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee are maybe playing for that 4th #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's what they have at stake. Auburn has locked up the overall #1 seed. Amazing. Oklahoma has missed 25 shots, Ravi, and only 1 offensive rebound out of the game by the Sooners.
Yeah, Chandler had it deep in the paint. We'll get to Molly in just a second. It's corner 3.
Well, guys, Oklahoma knows Otega Owe well from his time in Norman, and coaches were just telling the team, hey, Otega is going to try to take this over. Let's lock in. You cannot let him take over this game. Porter Moser emphasizing, keying in on Owe, pressuring their shooters. It didn't work there. Let's see if they can lock in.
Well, he did in that first meeting, scoring the last 18 of the game. He's got 20 now in this one. Brea. Always set it up, back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden, it's a 7-point lead.
When Brea is sitting there parked in that corner 3, it's almost automatic.
Dangerous time right now for the Sooners as Fears penetrates, and Owe stood him up, and he's going to get whistled for the foul.
Well, back-to-back possessions for Kentucky, though. To Molly's report, Otega Owe. He sticks a 3, his 2nd of this game. He only made 11 in all of conference play, but that drive and kick out for Brea, who's just sitting there waiting on it, and Otega threw him a strike. There was no reach at all for Brea from one side to the other. Perfect delivery, perfect release.
Otega Owe, 3 fouls to go with his 20 points. He's got 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Elvis, Chandler challenged it, no good. And a loose ball to Kobe Brea.
Play calls by Mark Pope. Without his point guard, Otega Owe, once they get the offense going, they just flow from there.
Owe.
Yep.
He got a chance for 3 more.
Just going right at his old team is Otega Owe. And Mark Pope has managed these injuries all year long, so he's not being caught by surprise in how to play call with Lamont Butler on the bench. He goes to Otega Owe in the middle third of that floor. Carr with just a little bit of a brush screen to get Otega Owe going downhill
And get Blue Nation going. But he is a bull, isn't he, Jimmy, on that way to the basket?
Just great endurance. I mentioned the first half. He's averaging 10 points in the second half in conference play. Just a body that does not get worn down.
He's killing them again. They are up by 10. He's got 7 of the last 10 and assisted on the other 3. That Brea corner jumper. Largest lead of the night. Owe wants it one more time. Owe trapped in the corner, fires it out. Garrison, too strong. And Fears just lost it out of bounds. Mark Pope is like a conductor of a symphony over there, man. He has got his fingers on everything. Garrison threw McGee to the floor and then threw the basketball through the hoop. Yeah, and Porter Moser's losing his mind.
Yeah, he is hot.
Ball game below, guys.
Yeah, and Otega Owe is playing like a fullback. He assisted on that 3. And look at what he's doing again to Oklahoma, the team he once played for. He scored the last 18 points in the first meeting. He's got 8 in the last 2:30. They're on a 13-3 run, Jimmy, over the last 2:34. They've made 6 of their last 7. And incredibly, Owe and Brea are 15 for 24 combined. That's 63% shooting.
Kentucky has also made 13 of the last 19 shots.
Jalen Moore threw that thing down on the basket, and it was too hard. Big Blue Nation made the pilgrimage from Lexington to see Owe and company win more than one game. They look like they're in position to do that right now with their biggest lead of the night at 12. Garrison, and they do call the offensive foul against Brandon Garrison. Their last win at the SEC tournament was in 2022, and they're 1-4 in their last 5.
It's almost amazing the job that Mark Pope has done in year 1, from the opening press conference and the entrance to Rupp Arena with a bus with his former teammates, has pushed all the right buttons, and it has not been easy with all the injuries and adversity. And his team just continues to show up the next day and keep fighting and keep getting better. That's the voice of encouragement that Mark Pope, I think, has really done a great job stepping into those huge shoes of a Kentucky head coach.
But it's a sea change in the attitude and the dynamic between Pope and the fan base. And he has stayed after games, signing autographs, getting on FaceTime phone calls. It's a demanding job, but as he said, like, every game is a one and done. He said, I lose, I can get fired. And then he said, but that's why we're here. That's what we live for.
Well, again, he won this tournament in 1995 as a player. He knows exactly what this means to the Bluegrass State. And Kentucky, one of their 4 goals in every game is to have 11 turnovers or less. And tonight, Kentucky is doing a good job of taking care of the ball with only 8 turnovers. They also chart what they call assist opportunities. And Kentucky has 17 assists tonight, but if they make a pass to an open shooter that misses the shot, that's still an assist opportunity. All it is driving home the importance of ball movement and player movement and playing very unselfish on this end of the floor.
And you saw that shot of Lamont Butler, who has not played in the second half. Again, re-aggravating, it appears, that left shoulder injury of his, not returning tonight. And there's going to be a foul because Carr ended up on his backside, and they're going to take a look at this. And the foul, I think, was called on Fears.
Well, I think Owen Short saw that Carr possibly got thrown down as he blew the whistle and immediately made the signal that we're going to look at it.
Previous play is under review.
Veteran officiating crew with Oglesby, Owen Short.
Well, that's what they're looking at. Fears right there in front of the rim. Fears is going to wrap him up right there in a little bit of a toss. I don't know if that'll escalate to an F1. Certainly a common foul away from the ball was the initial call.
After review, the common foul on the floor stands.
Yeah, that's the right call. You got to take a quick look at it. I mean, when Fears wraps him up, he's an undersized guy and just in the fight for his life, and a little bit of a toss action, so it's a common foul, and nothing escalates above that. And Oklahoma's got to have perfect possessions right now, Ravi, down 10 with just over 3 minutes to go.
Andrew Carr's got 10 and 7. He's the leading rebounder for Kentucky tonight. Brett Noah came in and in limited minutes does what he does. He's got 4 points. He has 6 rebounds. Chandler's gotten most of the run out there at the point guard position. Williams backs in Northweather. A lot of contact, and that'll send 22 to the free throw line. A lot of arm locking going on in all of these games today.
College basketball is physical, Ravi, across the country. It's not just the SEC. And Northweather's going to say, I guess my chin fouled his shoulder because to me, he's in legal guarding position. But the SEC this year has called 2% more fouls for the year than they did last year. And they led the country last year in fouls per game. And this is the second year in a row to do it. Very difficult league to officiate. But it's not like they're going in and contact is not being called. They lead the country again in fouls per game as the SEC.
We're going right back to the video reviews. And it gets to a place where the fans, especially those watching at home, get turned off by the number of reviews.
This is what they're looking at. Does Williams raise that elbow up? Oh, man, I mean, in the old days, you don't even look at it. It's just a basketball play that just happens. But you are responsible for your elbows. Northweather clearly took a shot across the chops, but
while they look, a reminder, number 2 Texas, number 3 Florida, Jimmy, a huge SEC softball series starting at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. How about this? Florida's 27-2.
After review, call on the floor is confirmed.
Texas is 26-1. They've won 15 in a row. So game 1 Saturday, 2 Eastern time. Game 2 Sunday, 1 Eastern, noon Central on SEC Network Plus series finale Monday night at 7 Eastern time, 6 Central on the SEC Network.
Well, it's an SEC that again in spring sports is loaded up from the baseball, the number of teams in the top 10, softball, the indoor track and outdoor track that's going on. It just truly means more in every sport right now in this league.
Jeremiah Fierce, who was instructed to tuck the shirt in by Terry Oglesby. It feels like patience are running thin on every side.
Remember, this game got real chippy in Norman. And these officials are aware of that game, and I think they've done a good job of not allowing anything to escalate. And they're going to have to close it out now with 2:50 to go.
Fierce denied by Williams. Entry into the paint. 7 on the shot clock. Now Brea switches on to him. Taylor will fire a 3. No good.
Good job by Amari Williams, right, to switch out on Fears, stay in front of the ball, stay low, stay wide, and then Brea switched out as well.
Yeah, they're going to get Williams. I think he moved.
Why has Kentucky moved up 57 spots? Uh-oh.
Mark Pope animated. That call goes against Amari Williams. He shifted that screen.
Amari Williams steps out right there.
Yeah.
And first of all, the feet are wider than the shoulder, so the contact responsibility is on the offensive screener. That's the right call, not a popular call, but it is the right call.
Well, but you can just see the presence of Williams and the impact it has on Oklahoma's offense. Fierce. That's no good. Moore knocks down a 3. It pulls him with an 8 with 95 seconds to go.
Jalen Moore makes just enough of those shots. You have to honest guard him. Ravi, because Owe played at Oklahoma last year and Brandon Garrison played at Oklahoma State, so he knows the rivalry between himself personally in Oklahoma. And this game has had a lot of heat, a lot of intensity.
And the freshman Jeremiah Fears has certainly been in the middle of a lot of it, along with Owe. They bring in the Oklahoma City kid, Brandon Garrison, to finish this game out.
Boy, how good has Williams been? He assumed the point guard role a lot with Lamont Butler out for much of this game, but his ability defensively to switch out, stay in front of the ball, guard 1 through 5 has really changed this Kentucky team defensively over the last month.
And just another monster night for Otega Owe, in particular against Oklahoma, his former school. 24 points. He's been phenomenal from the stripe, making 8 of 9 free throws. Lead grows to 10.
He just gets better as the game goes longer, Otega Owe. He is a monster in the second half. He's also been fouled 8 times in this game.
Continuation for Fears as he knocked that one down. Well, maybe they've escalated the continuation to the present.
Where does the foul occur? Maybe Fears got away with the push. There's the foul and one more step. Normally that doesn't count as a made basket at the college basketball level right now. I do hope we go that direction in the future. Fears that time benefits from a favorable whistle because the contact clearly was before he took that final step and got that shot off.
20 points for Jeremiah Fears after 29 last night. Trying to get it down to 7. And he does. Taylor in, Goodine out. Pressure defense will occasionally lead to a run-out thunderous dunk, too.
Porter Moser wanting to face guard at all 4 spots right now, and pressure on the ball.
Williams, bad pass. Kobe Elvis picked it off. It's a 5-point game.
A great job to face guard and shoot that gap.
Chandler spins through. They double Brea. Williams, here's Carr. Oh, he got ripped down by McGee, and he's not accepting the help up.
Everybody needs to walk away right now, and a good job by the officials to step in quickly, remembering what happened the last time these two teams played in the last minute.
An aggressive foul by McGee.
Does he go for the ball? He clearly attacks the ball, but he gets a lot of contact on Carr. And then the pull down right there is what's going to be looked at.
That play's under review.
They called it a common foul. Andrew Carr wanted nothing of the help up from McGee.
Ravi, that's what you're looking at is to protect an airborne player. A major emphasis on that the last few years. And do they view that as excessive and unnecessary? A lot of times, because it's an airborne player, those things get escalated from a common foul to an F1. It's a big call in a 5-point game.
Well, these officials, and you made this point, had been very aware of what happened at the end of the prior game. And in Major League Baseball, here's the call.
After review, calling the court of the common foul has been confirmed.
Yep. All right. Going to stay with it. I could have seen it going either way, and I could live with it either way.
Yeah.
McGee's going to make sure Carr didn't get this thing off cleanly. He goes at the ball first. I thought that pull down at the end might be what the officials see. There's such an emphasis again on protecting guys while they're in the air. And I'm not so sure McGee wasn't almost trying to hold him. Just an awkward fall, but regardless, we walk away from the monitor with a common foul, and it's still a 5-point game with just under a minute to go.
And Andrew Carr will go to the free throw line, where he has taken 3 of those tonight, made 1 of them. Every point is critical down the stretch. With plenty of time, 58 seconds to go, and a bad turnover has cut this thing down to 5. He's almost an 80% free throw shooter, and the first one is way short.
So it's going to stay a 2-possession game, even with a make.
McGee's got 4 fouls. Oklahoma has 1 timeout left, Kentucky 2. Better free throw from Carr.
Well, Porter Moser goes with offense. He gets McGee out, and now those 4 guards and a forward, Moore being the forward. So he goes with shooting for this offensive possession.
Garrison's going to come in. Williams came out. He takes Carr out of the game. Noah's back on the floor for the Cats. Oh, boy, they call Owe with a foul. Pope in Kentucky having a hard time believing it. Ortega always got 4.
Well, Fears is so shifty with that basketball. Again, multiple times this year. He's been fouled 10 times in the game. And that high-to-low dribble, again, the officials, they officiate the defense. They get their eyes on the defender when the ball's being driven, and they make their call from there. They felt like Owe was the initiator of the contact.
You agree?
No. I thought, I mean, there's been a lot of contact in this game that didn't get called on that one. And Owe is such a strong physical kid, but you know, Fears just has a knack to get to that foul line.
Cool customer. Freshmen in this SEC are so calm and cool. Owen Short gets in between McGee, who's back in the game with 4 fouls, and Trent Noah. Fears now 22 points, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and a chance to pull him within 4.
The pressure has worked for Porter Moser.
The inbounds to Noah. Brea is such a good free throw shooter. Moser didn't want that foul. That's the one he didn't want, and he reacted on the sideline. Kobe Brea is about as good as there is in the country.
I think Porter Moser is going to try to play that thing out, but you certainly don't want to put Brea on the line.
Watch Trent Noah. He came out of that last inbounds, grabbing his nose right there. He got whacked there by McGee. Pope wanted the officials to look at it. They have not indicated they're going to. This has been a battle. Over 90% free throw shooter Kobe Brea. 21 points in the game.
Boy, how good has he been? He's taken in SEC play, Rabbi, 105 threes and only 45 twos. But those 45 twos bring great balance to his overall offensive game.
It's automatic for Brea. 2-possession game, 6-point lead.
Somebody's got to take the ball out of bounds.
They set it up for Fears. He curls for a three. He got it. Jeremiah Fears. Moser uses his last timeout. And it is a 3-point game.
Man, to call that play on the fly by Porter Moser and then to execute it, he starts Jeremiah Fears in the corner, and it's dribble at action, and Fears just loops underneath and comes out the top side. Look at Jeremiah Fears. This little cut right here is what's going to get him open, but he started in the corner, drive the ball at the corner. Fears clears out of the corner and circles around up top. And Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner not going away. A nice screen as well by McGee up top. And it's back to a 1-possession game. Fears is fearless. Not a great three-point shooter, but Mia has made big shot after big shot all year long for Porter Moser.
He's pulling an O-way right now. He's got 8 points in the last 46 seconds. They are now out of timeouts. Kentucky has 2 to go. Jeremiah Fears has risen to the occasion the last 2 nights. And with the absence of Lamont Butler, Kentucky's done a good job taking care of the basketball. They just can't shake the Sooners.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, the last time they played is 83-82. You look up right now, it's 83-80. So if you're Kentucky, you know the full court press is going to come. Yeah. And Kentucky coughed it up a few possessions ago and gave Elvis a layup. If you're Kentucky, you have to understand we have 2 timeouts to burn. And our out-of-bounds underneath guy, you have to have a mental clock in your head. And once it gets to 1,003 and you start to count to 1,004, call timeout and reset and come back over and talk it through. Oklahoma's going to face guard again. If they don't get the inbound steal, they're going to trap hard and try to force that crucial turnover. But man, what a shot by Fears to keep Oklahoma with some life.
Noah's on the floor. He is 4 of 5 when it comes to free throws on the season. They get Carr, Brea, Chandler as they go into that football lineup with 4 across on the baseline.
Yeah, 3 wide receivers to Brea's left, 1 wide receiver to his right. Very difficult play to defend if you're Oklahoma.
Brea gets confirmation he can move on the baseline, which he's doing. He throws it into Owe. And he dribbles out of it off his foot when Carr saved him. And then Fears ripped it away. Here's more. He throws it down. 1-point game. Another turnover for the Cats.
And here comes the pressure again. Kentucky's not handled it. No Lamont Butler is a big deal right now.
83-82. Owe nearly slipped. And he turned it over. Fears. They don't have a timeout. And Fears may settle down to try to win this thing. He drives, lays it up, with his left, and it's in. And Oklahoma, with 5.6 to go, has grabbed the lead behind Jeremiah Fears.
Porter Moser's press has been hot and effective. It is 105 on the East Coast, and a lot of eyes still on this game. What a turnaround by the Sooners to grab this lead with 5.6 to go. Kentucky had this thing almost salted away, but they've got sped up. No Lamont Butler, and I talked about it, how big of a loss that is right now, trying to close out a game. And Porter Moser's guys have not felt the pressure. Fears right now gets in the middle third, a little bit of a ghost screen. It gets him going downhill to his left, and that long arm reach, an unblockable shot from the kid that just turned 18 in the fall, should be a high school senior, and just might have made the shot that advances Oklahoma in this tournament.
What an amazing presence for an 18-year-old.
Man.
And boy, Kentucky, this is when they have felt the impact of not having Butler on the floor. Carr nearly bailed out Oweh down here. Fears ripped the ball away from Andrew Carr.
Yeah, the steal of basketball from Carr was special as well. And Kentucky now with 5.6 to go. Plenty of time, plenty of dribbles to advance this thing. You know Oklahoma doesn't want to foul. Otega Oweh is your beast driving downhill.
He sure is. And this is eerily similar to that first game when Oweh scored with about 6.2 seconds to go. In this case, Fears does with 5.6 to go.
I just think if you're Mark Pope, you live with Otega Oweh right now.
Yeah.
He has been your guy. He closed out Oklahoma at the game in Norman. And you actually have time, Ravi, to rush this thing up and get it off in time, still for an offensive rebound to come into play.
3 turnovers in the last 49 seconds and a 7-0 run by the Sooners.
This would be amazing if Oklahoma walks out of here with this win.
Oweh did it to the Sooners once. Can he do it again? He gets the basketball. He's going. He drives. He puts it out! And in with a half second to go. Oweh did it again to Oklahoma. A walk-off shot from Otega Oweh, and Kentucky will win it 85-84. You can't make it up.
The degree of difficulty of that shot is off the charts by Otega Oweh. Oklahoma did everything you can do. They put 2 guys on the ball, but they allowed Otega Oweh, Ravi, to turn the corner, and Big Blue Nation in Nashville just explodes at the buzzer. A heartbreaker for Oklahoma. But man, we talked about it. If you're Mark Pope, you call the number of Otega Oweh and say, finish it off again. And he delivered.
And he knows so many of those guys. And well, in a chippy affair tonight and a first game, what a way to end it. And so classy to see both sides embracing what we just witnessed with the Otega Oweh miracle shot at the buzzer with at least 3 defenders on him.
The defense was good. Otega was just better. I mean, they got 2 guys on the ball, but they allow him to turn the corner right there. The third defender rotates over with the left hand. That's as difficult as a game winner as you're going to see in the entire March Madness by Otega Oweh.
With his left hand, Otega Oweh ends up with 27 points.